calling Eric's Hour of Enlightenment.
All right, I hope you guys hear me. Yep, we had a little boo-boo. We accidentally created a show for yesterday. But so I'm just going live right now. So, Scrambling is my middle name. Sometimes it stands for scrambling to do things. Sometimes it stands for scrambling brains. My brains are scrambled sometimes. Anyway, so no worries. We are here. We are live. And let's see if we can find Michelle Gray here. All right. Sorry, my alarm keeps going off. All right. So, Michelle, let me see. 519. Where are you? And, no, I don't see her yet. But no worries. Here's what we're going to talk about, guys. We're going to talk about how psychics, receive their information on predictions and all that stuff. It's really interesting. I always used to think when I first heard about psychics, I thought, gypsy hunched over a crystal ball, but no, I was so wrong. So basically, I used to think, well, they are able to see through wormholes. I had all these scientific explanations for it. But here we got Michelle, and she is going to help us along with my lovely Erik. Love you, Erik. Hi, Michelle.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine. Let's see. Here we got also Stephanie, her evil twin.
Hello.
Hi,
hello,
Stephanie.
Hello.
I'm just kidding about that. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Can you hear us? Stephanie, can you hear us? Can Stephanie hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you guys hear me? Here we are.
Yes, we can. All right, so
Beautiful.
let's talk about this. How does it work, being a psychic? I mean, mediums and psychics, there's a difference. So maybe we could start with that.
Sure.
Go ahead,
okay, I'll jump in. So the way it works, let's just take it for a spin. When I was a kid, I used to just kind of see things, hear things, smell things that were not there physically. I would always get these body sensations. They were really heavy. I later learned that I was a very physical medium, to include the trance channeling and very just heavily clairsentient, it just completely engaged. But I realized that it was because I had endured so much trauma that every time I left my body as a child or as an adult, and I connected with Source, I took in some of that Source energy over and over and over again. So just kind of rotating into that when we receive messages, especially myself, when I'm receiving messages, they tend to roll in pretty quickly for me, especially when I'm with clients or when I'm channeling with Erik. So that's why it's kind of hard for us to pause once in a while.
No, yeah.
Because we're rolling so hard and that energy is just coming in. But I just really get an influx of thoughts, or I physically I will just hear them speak, sometimes more than one at a time. So I'm okay, who has the mic, guys? Who's holding the mic? And typically when Erik is holding the mic, it's all Erik, and he's just really, really intense, and he comes through really quickly. So I really just I'm discerning whatever spirit tells me or gives me a backstory on, so that I could help the person that I'm having a session for or reading for. That's really exactly what I give them. So Michelle, in terms of how your abilities work and my abilities work, I think we're kind of similar in many aspects, but we do have some maybe different dynamics, or maybe we prefer to utilize some skills more than others. Some people are more comfortable with their clairvoyance or clairaudience rather than clairsentience or the touch.
Yeah. So what about you, Michelle? Tell me how you know.
I agree with you, Steph. We do have a similar way of doing things, and I do feel in my body, but I tend to feel when when I'm connecting to somebody, I will feel either something physical with them or I will feel emotionally. But my body also works like a map. So I have this in my heart chakra. And so when I am looking for information or I'm asking spirit for information, they will light up different areas in my chest to help give me a little more information. But I do get flashes and visuals and that too. But Erik was talking to him a little bit beforehand too, and so what he's saying is, of course, we all, like everybody listening, we all have the ability, right, to tap in, and psychic information is infinite possibilities. It is a sea of infinite possibilities, and so the way he is explaining it is he says that we can tune, all of us, we can tune into information on many different levels. But he said, you know, when somebody is aware that they're tuning into psychic information or whatever you want to describe it, psychic, he says, is a label that we use to give understanding to information that we're getting that is using something beyond our five senses. So that's a way to kind of put some understanding to it. But he said that those that are aware that they're doing it, he says, of course, it takes practice. So it takes practice in, first of all, discerning, am I getting information? Where is this coming from? And he says that most people would be very surprised to realize that they've been already picking up on information. They might say, well, I'm not psychic. I don't do any of that stuff. And he says you'd be very surprised. You notice a lot of the information that you're getting from multiple different sources, or you're connected into your auric field, somebody else's, or you're connected into the collective infinite possibilities. So he just says consciousness, it's beyond the body. And he said, you know, sometimes, like Steph, what you were saying, he says sometimes you hear it, sometimes you see it, sometimes you smell it, sometimes you taste it, sometimes you feel it. He says sometimes it's spontaneous, sometimes it's purposeful. Yeah.
So how do you know it's coming from elsewhere and not your own thoughts? A lot of people probably want to know that.
That's a great question. Do you want me to take this one, or would you like to, Michelle? Go ahead,
Steph. Go get it.
So you know what? For me, it took practice, because I really had to work on removing my ego from it and thinking that it was just me. Like at first, I would really just push away a lot of the information I would get, and I would be like, oh, that's nonsense. It's just me and my imagination sometimes, you know. But then it was really like dissecting that. And then I started talking to my ego and telling my ego that my ego had to calm down, and when I was channeling, had to go into another room. And so that's how I started kind of like disseminating the energies. I would feel an energy, such as like when I first encountered Erik, I was watching a YouTube with Jamie on Tall White Aliens. And I said, this is really cool. And Erik says, well, you can do this too. And I heard him very clearly.
Wow.
And at that moment, it blew my mind, because I was like, here I am thinking it's my imagination, and really I am receiving. And then here's the other aspect of it. What you're receiving should feel good. Like your guides should feel good, should feel loving, should feel like this bright energy.
Good.
You know,
that's a good point.
And that's how I discern the energies. When it's something that doesn't align with me, that doesn't align with my like energetic level, I know it right away, because I don't feel that loving feeling. And you know what? I have to work harder to get those messages sometimes, because they feel further away, because they're further out of the aspect of love, or they're further away from the light, such as like an earthbound spirit or something of that nature. Mm-hmm. It's further away. I feel like I have to draw them closer.
You know, it's interesting because I always had, I'll tell you a story that happened way before Erik died. I mean, I just had Christina and Michelle then, and we were planning to go on, we had not been on a vacation in like years, or, you know, because we had babies. And so we decided to go to Cozumel on some cheap, you know, 4-day vacation. And I just felt this weird, bad horrible sense that something disastrous. It's just not like me to do that. So it's very difficult sometimes to figure out, is this intuition or irrational fear? So anyway, but I just said, I'm going to freaking change the reservations. I changed it to the Cayman Islands, which unfortunately was more expensive. But then that was during that vacation, I was pregnant, of course. I wasn't always pregnant. Anyway, so I was waiting for my husband to come back from scuba diving, and it was taking a long time. So I said, Michelle, because you watch Michelle, y'all sit on this bench, and I walked maybe 20 yards away and said, is the so-and-so boat in yet? I said, no, but they'll be. And I turned around, and there was Michelle face down in the water. She hit her head on a rock and passed out. And my pregnant body just sailed horizontally, grabbed her, resuscitated her. And anyway, on the way home, she went to the airport saying, hi, are you a stranger? Because we say, never talk to strangers. No, I'm not. Oh, okay. Well, I almost drowned. I drowned, and my mommy saved me. It's just one person.
My.
Like 2 years old, 2.5 years old. Anyway, so I think that maybe something worse could have happened had I not listened to my intuition. But discerning intuition versus fear, to me, I think is very difficult.
Maybe that's a good point. And Erik is just saying that something that is also very important is to know that, okay, so that saying that right there, okay, well, is this my ego? Is this irrational fear? Erik says, how do you really figure that out? He says, look at your belief system and get to know yourself. Get to know, because if you start to pay attention to being present with yourself and recognizing what those fears are, it's like, talk to yourself. Ask yourself, hey, is this coming up because I've experienced something like this in the past? He says, remember, a lot of things that are being projected into our future are coming from our past experiences. So he says, how else are you going to figure this out but then to sit down and sort it out? And he says, you do that in the present moment. So he says, if you're dedicated to practicing these things, you will soon see over time that you will be able to discern what comes in, or what comes in as a flash or as something that is coming from another location, or what's coming in from your ego, from your experiences. He says it really is like decoding a puzzle.
Well, I suppose it could be like something that happened in another life, too, that's bleeding through and giving me fear. Because I had all these images of mine, we're going to crash, and the sharks are going to eat all my children right before my eyes, and it was awful.
Absolutely. And, I can resonate with that. For years, I was extremely afraid of the dark. Like, I was just horrified of the dark, and I couldn't understand why. But then going through past life reviews and regressions with Kim, I realized why, and I realized what happened to me. And it's in those instances where I was able to kind of, like, let that go. Like, just release, like, oh, there's really no reason to be afraid of this anymore. I'm going to remove it from what I've been feeling, from my belief system, especially like I was raised very heavily Catholic as well. So I had to really shed a lot of some of those ideologies from my belief system, especially when it came to, even the Dharma and everything that was involved in it. And so essentially, like, absolutely, I agree that, like, we carry this with us. And when we start to shed all these different components that just really don't serve us anymore, and we grow into our authentic selves, that's when we capture the magic, and our medicine comes out in that. That's where the healing comes out for us. That's where the abilities really are brought forward in the light. And you know what? Something Erik said to me this morning, and I actually made a little YouTube about it. He was explaining to me that everyone has the ability to heal in some way, shape, or form, such as even Michelle. Like, Michelle heals through her artwork and her writing. Heals through her artwork and her writing. Kim through her music and through sound healing. I mean, so there's so many different aspects that we are literally channeling this healing that's coming through. And it could even be us on the radio through oration, because we're receiving from spirit right now. All of us are. You know, we are sending out that vibration of healing. Everyone is receiving that too. And I just feel like everyone can do it. That's what Erik is explaining to me.
Well, I think it's really interesting that the past life, you know, on Atlantis Scalar, at AtlantisScalar.com, I do a lot of people's past, future life trauma reports, or just because a lot of people want to know, what is it in my present life that is triggering something, a similar event usually, in another life, past or future, usually it's past. And some of the stuff that Erik tells, it's just amazing. It's just so, the spiritual lessons that keep hounding us lifetime after lifetime. And it's just so nice to see, was that what was the lesson I was supposed to learn? And keep learning and keep learning. And then you do past life regression, forgiveness therapy, whatever, and it just makes it all, that whole thing just dissipates. You know, it's like you see it, you understand it, you accept it, you learn from it, it disappears. The power that it has on your present life at least disappears. So if you have a fear, like me, when I was afraid, oh my God, are we going to, you know, with the whole Cayman Islands Cozumel thing, can you use like a pendulum? I mean, if you say a prayer of protection or, you know, dowsing rod or something like that to figure out whether it's coming from you or an irrational fear or intuition, or does that not work?
Well, you can, Erik says, but he also says, keep in mind that when you are using any tool, and he says, and this doesn't matter whether it's a pendulum or cards or anything, if you're in a state of fear, if you're, you know, you want to use it when you're feeling centered, because he says that does affect the energy, that affects how things flow through you. Your belief system is everything.
I see that when I'm doing dowsing rods. When I say, "Oh my God, does Annika have COVID?" Oh shit, yes she does. Yes she does. They always said yes, because of my fear affecting it. Yeah. But it was not in these scalars. Erik seems to be super easy to channel for a lot of people. Why is that? Or is he unusually easy to channel? Hi, Erik. I love you.
Erik says, "Hi, Mama." He says, "I love you too." He's being funny. I see him wearing a white T-shirt, but it's got a red peace sign on it. Like he's being funny.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I get from Erik too is he's saying that, like, okay, so as we evolve, he has evolved as well, and he says that those who are in range of elevating within their vibration have an easier time picking up on his energy or engaging in dialogue with him. He's saying that this is because they are changing as well, and so is he. And, you know, since I started channeling and kind of meshing with Erik's energy, I noticed the differences between where he was maybe 3 or 4 years ago to where he is now. And then I also noticed the difference in myself as well. And so, like, when I used to engage with him, he felt further away. But as my vibration went up and then he ascended and now is more of an angelic worker and, you know, the master angel role, his vibration has gone up so high that, like, now it's kind of like just having him in the room, really. And it's really wild today.
Erik, he's also saying, too, that part of his vibration, and he says what he chooses to present himself as, because he says his Erikness makes him very relatable.
I know,
people.
never heard that. Oh my God, yeah. He's not one of those "welcome, my dear one" kind of enjoying.
No, and he says that's his gig. That's his gig.
Yeah,
that's what he uses, and that is it not only helps draw people in, but it helps relate to, he says, the human experience. It helps them, and that being said, he says that helps the vibration of the person that wants to connect with him, because how is it really? He says, if you're really not into the Om and connecting to that type of vibration, he goes, but yet you're really able to relate to, he says, this guy who's got this spirit guide gig that, can really understand what you're going through, that it's like a friend, like a brother, like a family member. And he says, and so that helps the vibration of those.
He loves the CE people, everybody. And he's just like,
sure does.
So many people as a buddy. It's like, I'm here, man. I'm your buddy. Your buddy. I want to be your guy. Now, I want to ask you questions that, there are a lot of people that go to Atlantis Scalar and they find out their guardian angel name is Ariel, and apparently she is the overseer, and maybe it's a collection of beings that is in charge of Project Unity. Erik spelled that out to me. What is Project Unity?
I've been getting Ariel for guardian angels.
Yeah, that's it.
For people all the time. That's crazy. Yeah. That's interesting because I kept thinking it's Ariel, like Ariel the mermaid. They're laughing. Project Unity. Oh,
Erik,
Steph, do you want to take this?
Yeah, I want to know what Project Unity is, and also Project Victory Earth, because I'm apparently part of that. So I want to know what those two are. What our mission? Because I don't know what the freaking heck I'm doing. I'm part of this project. What am I supposed to do? So Project Unity, Project Victory Earth. Let's talk about those.
Okay, so Project Unity, let's start with that. So Erik's saying that Project Unity is a large collective of people. He's saying that these are the word I hear is game changers. Okay, these are the path makers. These are the people who are carving out the experience for the others to follow along. He's showing me that this is like very expansive. It's kind of like extending arms. So like Elisa, it's like you inviting me onto channeling Erik. I meeting with other mediums who may have the ability to channel with Erik and pulling them on, or a healer who is amazing at a modality and then like grabs another healer, trains them, brings them on. He's saying like it's kind of like it's like a train. Yes. So this is.
See, I thought it was
going to be light workers.
He says there's 35,000 on Earth that are part of Project Unity, which is a very small number.
And he's actually saying there's more, but there's currently 35,000. He's saying there's going to be more.
Good. When you know him, I thought it was going to be changing from contrast unity, to consciousness to unity consciousness, but that's not quite it, right? No.
It's larger. I'm hearing it's larger.
Okay. What about Project Victory Earth? Because I'm part of that, and there's apparently. I've made them with my dowsing rods. There's 7,500 of those, and it's under the auspices of Veronica, which I'm told is a collection of light beings. Is that right?
I am getting that Veronica is a collection of light beings. I'm hearing though like dominion of angels as well. Okay, so like it's just like I see like tiers of a cake. So he's showing me like tiers, like there's different tiers. He's like not being mistaken with levels, but we all have a role.
No.
So there's different beings facilitating this. Michelle, what are you receiving from this?
What he was showing me with Project Victory Earth is he says, Mom, he says some are on. He says like this is our ground projects. So ground patrol. And so he said there are some that are holding, so he says like with Unity, bringing it into a group consciousness. He says being ones that hold the light that may not necessarily have a mission, but yet the mission is in their own life, and whatever they do in their life, they're holding that energy. They're on a spiritual path. They're awakening. And then with Victory Earth, he says this is like you have a mission. You are a group that are actually doing something that maybe groundbreaking, and he's showing you particularly with the work that you're doing with Erik, and he says, and the teams of people that you are networking with. And he says, and of course, this is in the very beginning stages of that.
Okay, is it to raise the vibration of humanity to help Earth ascend? Is that what it is?
Yes. Yes, but he's also saying that it's like bringing Earth into its new era, which has already started, but he's showing that particularly when he says mission, so he's showing different projects. So, for example, what you're doing right now, and he's showing that there's like little lines of energy coming off with that growing into bigger things like a hub. So he says just like channeling Erik is a hub, and then there's like a spider webs that come off of that and have bigger projects that network a lot of people. He says that it does help the Earth ascend, but it's helping those on the Earth being able to ascend into a new age. And he just keeps showing the importance of doing groundwork. So it's not just about bearing the light, it's about taking action.
Yes, absolutely.
That sounds like way too much work for me. I'm kidding. All right, so
you're already in it.
All right, so when I ask about the people who have, they want to know their guardian angel name, and it comes up, wow, it's Ariel? Shit, that's Veronica? Wow. And I always ask, is this person an earth angel? And it seems like they are always earth angels. And earth angels, I don't know what they are, and that's what I want to ask you, but they almost always feel like they really don't belong here. And they very often, and I want you guys out there to listen to this, because this may fit you. Very often they feel lonely without a real rational reason, and that fits me too. Sometimes I feel lonely and I just don't understand why. Very often I feel like I don't belong and I don't understand why, and that's kind of the earmarks of an earth angel. So maybe you guys are out there are that, and if you are, we need to find out who your guardian angel is so you can just find out through Atlantis Scalar. But what is an earth angel, and why do they feel that way? Erik, I love you.
Erik's giggling. So what he's explaining to me is earth angels are energies that have like contractually taken on a role of duality, but not duality good or bad, more of like duality of to the planet. Okay, because they operate from a different, I don't like to use the word levels, but let's say like in the atmosphere, there's different levels of the atmosphere. So they operate from different levels. So their abilities to facilitate certain actions, certain missions, or to help with a certain calling, their abilities are slightly different from like an archangel as well. He's saying that these people have a closer relation to the human beings, like they have a different form of influence on them. He's saying that their influence is different. He's saying that they can more easily, he's being funny, but they can more easily break the rules.
That's amazing.
He says it's easier for them to make waves and to speak through people as well, because they're closer. They're in like they're closer within their circle. They're closer within their group. He's saying that they have the ability to it's kind of like operating from a different level, just a different function. But their function seems to be more critical for each group or individual that they watch over or that they look over. He's showing me that, let's say, for example, like Veronica, he's pointing out Veronica. So he's saying, like, Veronica has the ability, like, there are several, perhaps about 100 or so people who are facilitated or who receive messages or information or delegation from Veronica. Some of them know it. Some of them do not know it. Okay, and it's kind of like...
Yeah, April Crawford is somebody who's famous that channels her. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's great that you know who also channels the angel that you're working with as well, and I think that's beautiful. I myself channel an angel named David also, and I learned that along with Erik, but collectively, like, because I have a mission, I also have a group of people who are facilitated and kind of think of them, and what Erik's showing me is like they're like handlers. Does that make sense? Like they're handlers. They're facilitating things. So that's what they're doing.
What did Veronica or the people on these projects?
So the Veronica would be the handler, and the people on the project would be who she's delegating.
God knows I need a handler. Keep me in line. I need to put a special snaffle bit in my mouth to keep me in line. Anyway, so that's interesting. So, Erik, are there people listening now that are thinking, wow, I think I'm a freaking angel. I feel this way. I need to find out if I'm part of one of these projects. Are there people out there right now that are thinking that?
Yes. Yes, and double yes, he says. He goes, Michelle, you know who you are. You feel it in your gut.
So, Michelle, what should they do?
You're listening to this for a reason to begin with. And he says, so, depending on where you are in your path, but he says, if you're hearing this for the first time tonight, he says the most important thing is to know that you're not alone, that you're in company, that, people that operate very similar to you. And although he says it's not uncommon to be an earth angel and to not understand how that works, it's okay if you don't know who your guardian angel is. It's okay if you're not sure how all of your abilities work. He says, but to first of all know that there's nothing wrong with you. He says it's often that an earth angel, he says, or also known as a starseed, he says that it's often that.
Because I thought there was earth angels, but there can also be some that are starseeds and some that are not. Because I asked Erik at the time, is this a starseed?
Yes.
And he said, no, but it's an earth angel, or he or she.
Yes.
So he just said yes, that they can be the same, so they can be both. And he's talking about vibrationally where the base of the soul comes from the it's vibrational. He said that it's important that you know that you're not on your own. It's important that you're able to accept that you are different, but what's different about you is maybe how you've gone through life has made you feel like it's a deficit. But he says the truth is it's really an ability. And he says a lot of healers are also earth angels as well. And he says chances are you're very attracted to, or animals are very attracted to you, and children are very attracted to you. And those are all really things that you're really good at, artists, all kinds of things that are creative. And so he says, take the time to research an earth angel. Take the time to get to know yourself. And he says, and know that you're in a safe place here with us.
Okay, so Erik told me, and it's a little laborious trying to find this number, there's 6,453 earth angels now, at least, on the planet. So that's not very much. So I want to know why they feel lonely. Why do we feel lonely? I mean, I told one of my friends, she wanted to know her guardian angel name. I thought, oh my God, I spelled out, how many letters, blah, blah, blah. It's a consonant or a vowel, the first letter. And it came out Veronica, and I had no idea that more than one person had Veronica as their guardian angel, because I figured like, oh my God, Veronica has enough on her plate handling me. So what the, you know what? So, but then that's how I found out about Project Unit. And then, I asked about the earth angel thing. And when I told my friend, my brand new friend this, she said, because all of a sudden everything clicked into place. The pieces of the puzzle clicked into place, and she realized why she felt the way she did. So why do they feel lonely? Why do earth angels feel lonely? I don't get that.
So the first word that I hear from Erik, he's saying it's remembrance. They remember how close they were to source, They have this openness that's slightly different, so they do feel like they're lacking something or they're missing something. That's why that loneliness comes in. He's talking about separation between, like, it would be separation between, like, parent and child. It's almost like a loss. Okay, so that's why there's this feeling.
I mean, you know what? Because Jamie transcendental grace for me, and one of the things she said was for the people who come to Earth and experience such hardship, like I have, they can barely remember how important it is, and they forget. I can't remember the exact thing, but it was just amazing that they just we remember. That's what she said. We remember so well what it's like to be in heaven, and that we come down to earth and we suffer so much, so we can barely remember how important it is to have that suffering, that separation. Wow.
Absolutely. I just want to interject with one thing, because this just came to me from Erik, but what he was saying was, you know, how like we're often, we think that we are being taught or we have teachers, right? So what these people are actually doing is they are triggering our spiritual remembrance. These are things we already know how to do. Okay, so these people, these other light workers, these teachers, these mentors, they are triggering this for us. Okay, so you with your scalar work, you are triggering people to remember. That's why it might feel a little harsh or messy for them sometimes, you know, when the healing is going through, because all of a sudden they get this feeling like, I've been disconnected for so long, and now I have a sense of connection, and it's those moments that are really triggering for them.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so Erik, when the medium calls you, Erik, you're calling all Erik, somebody wants to hear from you. What does that feel like to a spirit? Okay, to be called on a psychic or a medium or psychic medium. And then we'll get to callers pretty soon. Sorry, guys, but this is important.
He says,
Go ahead.
He says it's like he says the best way to explain it is like imagine a pager. He says how a pager buzzes. He says it's like it's a knowing, but it's like a vibrational pull. So he says that it's funny because he gives me the example of a text message, and he uses this a lot in readings. Is he says, you know, sometimes we're right there with you, and then sometimes it's like a text message or a phone call. So you might have the vibration might ring in that clear because we're talking on the phone, and sometimes it's just something quick we want you to know, and that's a text message. So he says it's based on what the need is how it vibrates.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so are y'all ready do you want to say anything else, Erik, Michelle, or Stephanie, or before we take callers?
No, I'm not.
No, I'm good. He's ready.
Erik?
He's ready.
All righty then. We will take somebody from the top of the list who is the 210 area code. Hi there, how are you?
I'm good, Elisa. How are you?
I'm good. Who are you? I love you already.
Oh, this is Jenny, Mike's wife. How are you?
Oh, Jenny, hi. How's the babies?
Hey, my question is actually for you, Elisa, because of your medical background and for all the beautiful people you have on the show. My daughter's in the background. I apologize. So basically, I'm calling because
go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm calling because I've been having some health issues, and the doctor can't pinpoint what they are. So I've been having severe head pressure. It's typically on the temporal part, but a lot of it can be on the top as well. I feel dizzy. What's new now is I feel like I'm off balance. I know in the ears you can have issues with that, the hearing imbalance, but
Jenny, is it a pulsating pain or a constant pain?
It's a constant pain. Nothing works. No Tylenol, no ibuprofen. Nothing takes it away.
It doesn't go with your heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. Does it, or does it?
No, it doesn't.
Do you have an aversion to light? Does light bother you when you have these headaches?
Sometimes it does, but I can't look at a computer screen at all. I can't focus. I feel like I lose function.
Is there a history of migraines in your family? Migraine? No.
I'm sorry. A history of what?
Of migraines in your family?
My mom had them, but this is it's just out of the blue. It started happening about a month ago, and the pressure would be so unbearable. I had to lay down. I can't do anything anymore. It's not a migraine to where you want to throw up within, you know.
So what is it, Erik?
But
Erik, okay, let me ask you this, Jenny. Have you, do you experience this when you get up in the morning after you've been sleeping?
Yes, I have, and I also experience it randomly throughout the day. It'll just hit, and it's because I feel like I can't function. Go ahead.
Okay. Because he is saying that, because he's talking about the physical, definitely experiencing physical symptoms, but he's talking about vibrational shifting, and he's also showing at the crown area.
Yeah.
So, okay. Because he says that you're opening up on the top of your crown area, but you're also, there's an imbalance, and he's showing a little bit of hormonal stuff.
Oh, I got to ask you
there too.
Good. Have you recently started any kind of hormones like birth control pills?
Have I started what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Are you on birth control pills?
No, I can't take those. No, I've never had them. No.
Okay, got it. All right, go on, Erik. What's your bad self?
He's just saying that because you're very sensitive. Do you have really sensitive skin in that too? Because he's calling you extremely sensitive. You might be sensitive to medications and to like extremes, like heat, sun, that sort of thing. And he says that as we go through an ascension process, and you're also spiritually opening up. And did you say that you have new babies? Because he said that there has been a shift in your energy after having children.
No, my daughter just turned 4, so no. I mean, I call her baby, but she's not an infant. So.
That's new compared to me.
There wouldn't be any chance that you'd be pregnant with it, because he's saying babies.
No, not to my knowledge. I can guarantee you I'm probably not. But if Erik's saying it, you know, I can't go against what he says. So I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
He's talking about a hormonal shift and the top of your crown. And I don't know, Steph, if you're getting some of that too.
I am.
I'm getting hot flashes. I'm too young to have menopause, but I feel like I'm reading all this stuff on menopause. And I'm tired all the time. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Yes,
and this is
hormone like thyroid or whatever?
No, I got blood work, and the crazy thing with my blood work is that my white blood cells were low. They were still within normal, but my red blood cells were extremely low, below the normal line. My iron was elevated, which to me is completely weird. With the iron and the red blood cells can be the opposite. Hemoglobin and my hemocrit were all low, and the doctor can't figure it out.
What was your hemoglobin?
You know, hi there. I just wanted to interject really quick. This sounds very similar to some of the things that I personally experienced as well when I continued to open up. Okay, so there were some health issues, but at the same time, because of the energetic shifts and all of the downloads that I was receiving, my body was not able to keep up with the vibration. Sorry, my dog's playing with a toy. To keep up with the vibration. And so what ended up happening is it was detrimental to my body. Like, my body didn't know how to respond to it. So I kept thinking that I was sick. And it's the same thing. So I am seeing the like hormones. I keep saying the word hormones, and he's showing me like that needs to be leveled out. There's something there. I'm also hearing cortisol levels for you. He's saying
cortisol levels were good actually with the last blood work. I'm going to retake them again, but that's why the doctor couldn't figure it out.
Sometimes you have to have a cortisol stimulation test to really determine it. But look, send me your lab work. And
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'll do that. All right, Jenny.
Erik adds to ground too, Janice. To ground.
Yeah.
Just to, I'm sorry, to ground, is that what you said?
Yeah, ground your energy and do it at least.
Okay, like with meditation type of deal?
Meditation, yes, but it would be very effective for you to use Himalayan salt in a bath or at the bottom of your shower if you plug the drain, and to actually go outside and stand yourself on the earth and just do some breathing exercises. Meditation is too, but he's saying like 3 times a day because he keeps showing that your energy, it flips, like it's imbalanced.
Yeah, no, I've had some healing done and everything's opening up since I hooked up with Jamin. So he's been helping me, and God, everything's like
oh yeah,
on a
flying.
speed level.
You're flying. In 6 months' time, you're going to look back and go, whoa. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, Jen. Talk to you later. Send me that stuff.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
They're such a sweet family. They live in San Antonio. Okay. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But anyway, there's no turns. All right. So we got somebody from the 925 area code. Hey there. What's up?
Hi. This is Kristen. Hi, Elisa. Hi, Erik.
Hi, Kristen. What you got for him?
Hello, Kristen.
I have a question. I am going to be moving in with my boyfriend, and I'm just wondering if there's any message from my higher self or my guides. I'm just kind of worried about leaving my family, the rest of my family.
What do you think, Erik?
The first thing I get, Erik says that this is going to be like a true journey for you. He says that this is your way of stepping out more, but also like he's showing me the scales, and he says like the scales are going to balance out between your partnership. He's saying that you and this partner are going to help to elevate each other. So he's giving me the thumbs up. He's saying like this is a positive move for you. And he's saying like don't rush things, just let it flow. He's asking you to stay very present as well, so that you don't get anxious or caught up, and so that there's no arguments, because he says like, you know, with moving, he's saying that there could be like some tension. He shows me like a springed coil, like when 2 ends are pulled and they snap back at each other. And he's saying like, he's like, be honest with each other, and he's saying like, work with each other to help each other balance out your vibration so that you stay in flow. But he's giving me a thumbs up, and he says that this is going to be a very good experience. I feel like it's very positive for you, and this is going to build onto your future.
Okay.
Well, that sounds good.
That's great. Yeah.
Kristen, do you have a set of grandparents in spirit that were together for a real long time?
Yes.
Because they're both showing up and saying that not only are they going to help you with family connection, but they're also going to help you in relationship connections.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I love it.
All right, thank you for calling in, Chris. Oh, all right, thank you for calling in, Kristen.
Thank you so much. Love your show.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye.
Love you. Too sweet, can tell. All right, got somebody from the 917 area code. Hi there, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Not bad.
That sounds like a New Yorker.
Yes, I am a New Yorker.
Right. It's so much better than the Texas accent, because Texas accents, automatically you listen to them and you think, like me, you listen to it, it's like, oh, their IQ just dropped 20 points right there. It's like a neurosurgeon goes up to you and says, before surgery, well, let's see, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to saw off the top of your head, and then so it's not very comfortable. Anyway, go ahead. What do you have for us, darling?
Okay, so I'm empathic, okay, and I always have to call into some of the blog talk radio shows to get a better understanding of what things mean. So I think it was yesterday when I wake up, I keep hearing the words serpent and the rainbow. Just wanted to know, what does that mean?
Wow. What does that mean, Erik?
Did you say serpent and the rainbow?
Yes, I think it's serpent and the rainbow.
Okay, what Erik is showing me is he's giving me a visual. This has to do with where you're connected, where your soul is connected. You have a guide with you, but this guide is with you for ascension, because what he's giving me is the Kundalini energy. It has to do with awakening and opening.
Wow.
Erik is also saying that you are entering a new phase with your ability. So you've been working on your ability, because he says that this new guide is stepping in to connect you. And he says sometimes when we get information, it can be a metaphor. Sometimes it can be very direct. And he says that you are clairaudient. He says you'll primarily will hear inside your head, like your inner voice. But he says that when you're in the your throat too. You're a communicator. You're a channeler. Be able to hear when you're in and out of sleep. So when you're first waking, when you're going to sleep, it'll be easy for you to get words and expect this to take a pattern, to start to hear things here and there. And Erik says to write them down. He says don't worry so much about the exact meaning, but that a lot of times it's a metaphor for something that is coming, something that you are entering. And this is this guide particularly communicating with you to let you know that they are taking you across. They are taking you to the other side. Not literally. Yeah.
Oh. I just wanted to add that I was receiving this similar, like the Kundalini energy is what I saw, like through the rainbow, through the chakras. But what I wanted to tell you was the guide that I was feeling, the energy feels very galactic. It feels very cosmic to me. What I was getting right away is like Arcturian energy. Okay. And that was the feeling that I was getting. So the other aspect of this is this guide wants to help you with your own healing modalities too. Okay, so I would definitely tap into that and maybe meditate on that, facilitate a relationship even more so with this guide, and how they can establish or help you with your healing, or what you can channel for healing.
All right. Yes, he's right.
Call back in. Oh, my God.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Okay, we've got somebody from the 786 area code. Hi there.
Hello, can you hear me?
How you doing?
Good. How are you, Elisa?
Good. What's your first name?
You could hear me better. I'm Jonathan from Miami.
Huh? Oh, yeah, Jonathan.
John from Miami.
How's it going? John,
My phone name.
John.
Yeah,
John,
I like John. Yeah. The businessman. Very
there
true.
We go.
I like how we're talking about, angels stuff with so I want to ask a question, not question. I want God to give me a message pertaining to my journey that He has me on.
Can you repeat that, please? I didn't hear you very well.
Yeah, you
Oh, that's okay.
John.
Maybe I talk too fast. I'm sorry. I want God to give me a message on about the journey that He has me on in this lifetime.
Nobody has you on a journey. You are on the journey.
Yeah, that's I got to tell you.
your journey.
And the first thing Erik just interjected, and he just said, "You are God, and this is about you. This is this is the journey of you, your self-discovery."
That's right. We are all whole and part of God, just like a hologram. Like, those necklaces that in the 70s, you probably don't, you're probably too young, that had a skull on it and a leather, band. If you were to break that holographic pendant and look at it under a microscope, that skull you would see in every single shard. So we are like that. We're a hologram, a holographic representation of God, whole and part. So you are God. Don't let it go to your head, though.
Amazing. And I feel like God is leading me towards lobbyism, which is influencing the government and how our lives should play out.
Oh, God, they need something. Jeez. So what do you think, Erik?
He says to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
sorry.
Steph.
No.
You,
Michelle. Go ahead. Michelle, go ahead. You're on a hot streak.
Just a short response that he says, which is, be careful when you are getting your information to make sure that you're really following what you feel passionate in, because he says that you are getting a lot of information, but some of it is it might take you down a rabbit hole that's not necessary. So he says really feel into what you're following and make sure that it aligns with what you really believe.
Good advice.
Perfect. I can take that.
Absolutely. And the word I was hearing is dissemination. And it's disseminating what actually serves you, what you feel in your heart you should be following, and also removing the other voices, because I'm seeing like there's a lot of people speaking at the same time, but you're not necessarily the speaker. It's like you're hearing a lot of voices. So understanding what your influences, your outside influences are as well. And what Erik keeps showing me is project planning. He shows me you actually stipulating what you want to do. And he's talking about you forecasting as a part of manifestation. So it's like you writing what you want out as if it has already happened for you. Okay. And he's saying really feel into your heart, man, is what he's saying, about exactly what it is that makes you happy. Okay. Because it is your journey. Okay. So he's really emphasizing that you making the plan.
Perfect. And I believe what I'm going to do is going to pay attention, so it's going to bring more freedom to the human race.
Good. Oh, I'm almost out of time, guys.
Beautiful.
Sorry. I love you guys.
Thank you, guys.
So much. Y'all check out Stephanie at Enora's Corner. Enora'sCorner.com.
Enora'sCorner.com.
Yes. I will put it down there, I promise. And then Michelle at thehealing.art.com. And of course, I will put it here. And when I make this into a YouTube. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Y'all go to AtlantisScalar.com. Find out who your guardian angel is, dude. If you feel like you're an earth angel, figure it out. All right. Bye-bye.
Awesome.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you, Erik.
Bye, John.
Love you, Erik. Bye.